It's one of the most popular tourist spots in Vancouver and one of the most difficult hikes. But for the Canadian men's national field hockey team, doing the grouse grind alone wasn't enough. They've been tasked with climbing the 3,000 steps after the 5-kilometer run. Despite the added distance, there's no surprise who was first to the top.
It was tough. Coach Farry decided the grind wasn't enough for us, so we did a nice 5K run beforehand. So it was definitely the hardest grind I've had to do. I'm the title holder from the previous year, so there's a lot of pressure on me to repeat.
And while this outing was meant to be as much a team bonding exercise as it was a training session, with selection for the Commonwealth Games right around the corner, any chance the guys get to impress can go a long way.
We've got a really deep squad right now, so to make that Commonwealth team, there's a lot of competition and there's a lot of good players and not that many spots.
The women's national team is having some fun of their own with a round of pitch and putt golf at Queen Elizabeth Park.
Well, the field hockey swing and the golf swing, I don't know if they're too similar, but we had a few good shots, so it was still good.
The golf swing might not have an impact on their chances, but just like the men, the ladies have making the Commonwealth Games team on their minds.
People are working so hard. We've been training, like this past week is probably our hardest week of training we've had in a while, so it's been really good.
At the final few training sessions before the teams are announced, the competition is high, and that's all women's national team coach Ian Rutledge can ask for.
One of the key components of running a solid daily training environment, but something that we need to make a competitive advantage, is making sure that we're building depth and there's competition amongst all the girls. That's critical. The girls need to know they need to turn up and they need to be able to perform day in, day out and compete for a spot in the team, but also that they're competing to make the team better.
And selection of 16 athletes who will represent Canada on one of the world's biggest stages, according to men's national team coach Anthony Farry, is a culmination of months, if not years, of hard work.
It's not a rankings tournament for us, but in terms of public perception, it's really important that we perform well there. So, 12 to 24 months out, we're really taking note of what we need to do and making sure that we're trying to get all the guys that we need in the program and some of the guys that we think might make the jump between that time and now.
But before going to Glasgow to compete, the teams must be named.
Number 23, Brienne Stairs.
Making the final cut and on her way to her first major games is Kitchener's Brienne Stairs.
I felt amazing. It's such a huge honor to represent your country, so I obviously felt really good about it. I'm looking forward to just being a part of the whole Canadian Commonwealth team. That's going to be an amazing opportunity and experience, and looking forward to the competition, the great teams we'll be playing, and making our country proud and hopefully bringing home a medal for Canada.
On the men's side, Ben Martin will also be representing Canada for the first time at a Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, I was ecstatic. I'm very excited for this opportunity and the chance to play in my first Commonwealth Games. I think sporting events are a bit different when you get all the different sports in together. You get a much bigger stage, much bigger occasion.
That's where experience comes into play, and both the men's and women's teams have it. Veteran Kristine Wishart is one of 4 players on the women's roster who has been there before.
They're just really exciting. Since it's a multi-sport event, you get that sense of just the Canadian pride because there's so many athletes there, and there can be a lot of distractions. At the end of the day, we're there to compete, and like I said, we're really excited about the opportunity to get to go up against some of the top teams in the world and compete and fight for a spot in a tournament setting. So definitely stay focused on our games and our preparation.
On the men's side, keeper David Carter will once again be backstopping Canada at the Commonwealth Games.
So multi-sport games are pretty much the most fun you can have as a field hockey player. After the Olympics, Commonwealth Games ranks right up there. It's just not to get distracted. There's so much going on there. There's athletes, there's media, there's games. The Commonwealth Games Canada do a great job of providing things for you to do while you're there, anytime you have downtime. But at the same time, it's important to get the job done, to do the video work, your rehab, and your trainings. And after that, there's time for the fun things.
That kind of advice and experience is invaluable for both teams, as many of the athletes wade into uncharted waters.
And that kind of experience is needed because it can be unsettling. There's a lot of distractions in the village, so to have that leadership is important for the younger guys. It's also vitally important that we have the younger guys involved because it brings that enthusiasm and that intensity, and they really drive the older guys to be better as well. So it's a great balance for us, and we're excited about the prospect of it.
So now the focus turns to the games, where eyes will be wide and expectations high. And throughout both teams, there's one common denominator: the desire to win.
You'll see them compete for every ball. You'll see them, regardless of the highs and the lows, we're expecting consistent effort over the course of the tournament, that we're there to accomplish something together for the moment and for the future.